Morning, welcome to the video. It's Monday, I think it's the 18th, could be 15th, who knows, lost count already. Obviously Friday and Saturday were phenomenal days. 20, 21, 22 degrees, someone's strimming somewhere. And they were great. However, got a little bit colder yesterday, and now today, Monday, there is a big band of rain coming through. Monday, Tuesday were scheduled for lawn care days. Wednesday was a weekly maintenance job, and then I had some penciled in couple of lawns that I do kind of as and when I want to do them type thing. So what I've done is I've brought those two as and whens through into today, because I don't want to start a scarifying job and then halfway through get completely washed out for the rest of the day, and maybe the amount of rain that looks to be coming through, that could be the case. I feel like every video I'm just moaning about the rain, but it is what it is. It's a major part of this job. And if you, as I said before, if you haven't got other little jobs you can do here and there and move things around, and that flexibility can be quite restricting. Today, just going to be doing two mowing jobs, one big, one small. All I need is the time master, strimmer, blower. Potentially could have done a load of total on the driveway for weeds and things like that, especially sort of gravel driveways that don't get used that much. Very, very quickly get very weedy. However, with this rain coming through, absolutely no point doing that, so I'm not going to bother. That's the plan for today. Get that done in and amongst the weather, in and around the weather. Lawn care Wednesday and a weekly mow, and then Thursday, Friday the same as usual. And I think the weather is looking better after today. I'm going to get the van loaded, and I'll see you at the first job. Okay, so this is the rain coming in. This is now, and we scroll back to, so it's just before 9 o'clock. To be, I've probably got 45 minutes before the rain comes in, so I'm going to crack on now. And then, but actually it comes in, and then it seems to, by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it seems to have passed. So, better make the most of it. Well, I think the rain's here, which was, I always knew this was happening, so I got the first one done, got to the second one, and then the heavens have opened, which is fine. It's a bit Hayley as well. I'm gonna, whoever Hayley is, I don't know her. What I'm gonna do is use this time to do some paperwork, reply to emails, etc, 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 and just wait it out. What a difference a couple of hours make. So it's nearly 1 o'clock. I've just spent some time actually making some updates to my website. A friend who helps me with the website, he works just down the road, so I just went down there for a couple of cups of coffee and get some work done. Made the use of their Wi-Fi, and actually the wind's so strong, that massive band of cloud and rain came through, and it was pretty bad, but it came through pretty quickly. So I'd say for the last hour it's been pretty good, but yeah, so as I say, now it's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to be here. Just need to smash this grass down with the time master, and yeah, then we'll crack on. Okay, so here we go. This is an awful lawn. It just sits completely wet. It's what it is. It's what the client wants, and this is the reality of lawn care, or mowing, or whatever, is that not every lawn can be a dream lawn. The client can be a dream client, but their expectations and their wants for the lawn may not be what you want. Now, from a business point of view, you've got to make that decision of whether you're only going to have people who want the best lawns possible, or you going to pick clients who are great clients who don't want, you know, Wembley Stadium. They don't want, you know, weedless and mossless gardens, but they will, you know, pay good money, and they will pay on time, and they will be, you know, the perfect client. And you've got to make that decision of what you want. Obviously, in an ideal world, is you'd have a perfect client who want, you know, the complete everything. Aeration, scarifying, regular reseeding, and all this bit. But in reality of life, that just doesn't happen. So it's not a great lawn. This lawn, you know, doesn't make my Instagram reel. But
they pay good money regularly. That's all I'm really bothered about.
Okay, so you may recognise this lawn from a few videos. A few videos ago, this is my lawn. This has been done dumping pile for okay, this is, well, it's been a dumping pile for the extension. It's been the waste pile for stuff for the grab lorry. This area here was where the portaloo sat for 4 months, and yeah, basically the soil's been, and just dirt has been dumped on top of the grass. The grass now has gone really, really rotten. It's this, if we had smell-o-vision, this stinks, and it's not just from the fact there was a portaloo there. It is from the fact that everything underneath, it's just rotted. So we've got the skip in. So what we're going to do now is basically just flick it up. Just going to turn it, rake it all over. Now, you could say just get a rotavator in. Unfortunately, the utilities to the house all will go through the lawn. My neighbours found out the hard way. I unfortunately know this, and also we've had a few things rerouted, so I know they go across the lawn. So, to be honest with you, rotavator would be more hassle than it's worth. So anyway, at the moment, all I'm doing is just trying to flick it, turn it over, and then what I'll do is bash it about and basically just rake out the tufts of grass. And also it's such a small area as well. Sometimes doing these bits by hand is the only way. That better not be coming this way. Only I think it is. Although we are lawn care today. Woo! So some basic scarifying and feeding, and maybe a little bit of seeding here and there. I know one of the lawns has had a few sort of, he doesn't know whether it's squirrels or birds or whatever, digging it up, so I'm sure there'll be a little bit of repair work. Maybe try and get to the bottom as to why they're digging it up as well. Tuesday, potentially raining. Isn't advertised though, so I'm hoping by the time I get to the job it all should be okay. Nice blue sky. Don't like the colour of those clouds through those trees, mind you, but we've got that section done, and we've got this lawn here done, so that's taken about an hour and a half. Now I need to get it all cleared up. Just going to show you how I do my clear ups. So blow it all into a pile, get a bag, open it up, snow shovel, yellow headed rake if you like, and scoop underneath, pull it in, a bit like salad tongs, pick it up, straight in. Just get that bag open up a bit more now. There we go. You'll notice in all my videos, this is how I always do my clear ups, whether it be leaves, hollow cores, or scarifying debris. It's always this way. This is my preferred way. People do message saying, have you tried the other options, like the bear claws, or the sort of like scissor actiony type ones? And yeah, I've tried them, and this is my favourite way. It's the way I always come back to. It's also tools that you're going to use anyway for raking out the soil afterwards, etc., etc. So it's not just one specific tool for it's not one specific tool for a job. You know, these are multi-use tools. So it's one less thing to have to carry in the van. And then what I'll do is, once I've got the worst of it, I'll then take the fan rake and rake it all in to get as much up as possible. Okay, all done. Nice stripe in there. This is going to be fed shortly, but before we do that, we're going to do the back garden.
Okay, so lawn all scarified, fed. It's amazing how dry this lawn is. Okay, and the back lawn, and you can see there I've just put some soil around the sort of the poorer areas. I suppose that always gets where the mower always moves in the same positions. Okay, here we are. You remember this one possibly from a few weeks ago. I'll include a video of, or a photo of what it looks like now before I started on the scarifying. Obviously it's a big old pile. It's always amazing. You know, you can get lawns looking pretty good, and then you pull all that out. I'm loving the blue sky here, but I'm not loving the look of that. Hopefully I'll get it cleared up, I'm sure I will. It's Wednesday, sun's out, we've had a little bit of rain come through, but ultimately it's a pretty blue sky. I've got lawnmowers going to the left and to the right of me. So this is the front. You can see there's a lot of red thread in there. This is in desperate need of a feed now. So what I'm going to do is, I've looked at the diary, probably in 2 weeks time is when I'll actually get on this lawn and give it a scarify, just to get some of the moss out. Obviously it's sat really wet all winter, so there's a lot of, as I say, moss, a lot of rubbish which needs to be picked out, and then we'll give it a feed then. The back's still wet. I've trimmed it down again. I'll show you it in a second. I've done a little bit more at the back with the trimming, but the area is, some bits are drier, some bits are just as wet, so again it's not ideal, but hopefully 2 weeks time it's going to have dried out that bit more. Okay, so completely forgot to show you the back lawn on the wet lawn. Anyway, now I am at a lawn care client. I've had this lawn care, or this client, for about 9 years now, and every springtime I come in and I scarify and I give the lawn a feed, and that's all I do, and that's all he wants, and I never do any more than that. I've always explained year-round lawn care would keep the lawn in a better condition and not such a mossy, thatchy mess, but it's not what he wants. It's a good half a day for me, so I'm happy to carry on with it. Okay, and this is it. And whenever I do this job it's always bloody windy, but yeah, this is the stuff that's coming out. Look at that. Got the Canon LS42 on the go with the 3 swinging blades, which, if you remember in the last video, I've reversed them, so they're basically brand new blades. Morning, blue sky. We're back at this property, probably reckon, and today it's going to be the semi-rough stuff, as I like to call it. I've tried different things each year. Normally I've cut the formal stuff weekly, and then the semi-rough stuff, sort of whichever was longest got the cut that week as such. But there just seems to be more, like, I turfed an area, so it seems to be a year or so ago, so there's more grass coming and I'm just struggling to keep on top of it. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting the formal stuff fortnightly, and then all the semi-rough stuff the other week, just trying to keep on top of everything. So okay, the formal grass isn't going to be cut weekly, but as a whole the area is going to look smarter, I think. So we'll give it a go for a couple of weeks, now that sort of we're into the growing season, and see how that works out. So since 2 weeks ago I shut my keys in the door, so that should be a nice round key ring, and this is the key I need to get into one of the areas. So I'm going to have to try and work out how to straighten that. So today's those 2 big lawns that I normally do, and then I've got a quote this afternoon for, it's actually a guy who's without going into too much detail, he's unable to cut his lawn. He has a robot mower that cuts it during the summer, and you know, he's saying it's fantastic, works for him, and you know, robot mowers are great. The only problem with them, and this is why he's sort of contacting me, is the perimeter obviously doesn't get cut, so you end up with a really nicely mown lawn with awful scruffy bits around the sides. So I think he said basically whether I could help him or not, what he ideally was looking for is somebody to come in and basically edge and do the perimeter, say, every 6 weeks, and then at the start and at the end of the season someone to come in and just do a sort of a decent cut. So we shall I'll go and have a look. I'm sure I can help him out. It's not something that I would necessarily advertise or do, but it's pretty local to me, and it's no skin off my nose to run around with a strimmer, so I'm sure we can accommodate him. Okay, so as I say, I've cut down like what I regard as the sort of the semi-rough. So that's this area here, and then I've started cutting around the daffodils. Notice there's a lot of bluebells coming in, so I've sort of left those areas obviously as well. So yeah, just a cut and drop. You can kind of see this is the normal area I'd cut, and then this sort of line here I would normally sort of regard that as the rough, but what I've done is actually just try to, because I can spend a bit more time on it now because of the way I'm alternating everything, I can get a bit more into that, and then just smarts the area up a little bit, and it also reduces the big work of hacking down all the dead stuff later on in the year. Now you may notice sun's out, there's no wind, because the last couple of days have been ridiculously windy. Been meaning and wanting to spray weeds at this property for a while, but I just haven't been able to because it's either been crazy windy or wet. So today it's not really any wind, sun's out. You've got to take those opportunities when they're there. Had 2 inquiries today. One for a large property, several acres, she reckons. We've had that before with the last one, haven't we, where she said it was several acres, and then it turned out to be 2/3 of an acre for actual grass. So we'll see what goes with that one. And then another guy's contacted me who actually lives literally around the corner from where I live, and he just wants an initial cut for the start of the year, and then he'll mow for the rest of it. And he's also mentioned hedge cutting as well, so certainly not going to be doing any hedge cutting this time of year, just because I've got to prioritise the seeding jobs that I've got booked in. You know, they have to take priority because the growing season's so small, especially in the springtime, because it goes from not being able to do it because it's too cold, too wet to scarify, etc., normally straight into a heat wave. So that window's so small. Priority will be given to them, but as it is just around the corner, maybe if I finish a little bit earlier one day, I'll be able to just stop by on the way home. So I'll have a chat with him probably later today. Okay, so you just saw the formal lawn. I put the other stripe in there, took quite a bit off today, because I am trying to, now it's a bit drier, is get it down to a decent level. So last week you saw me cut that paddock over there. This week we're going to cut this one, and that's how it's going to be now, is formal lawn and then alternate the paddocks. So he doesn't want me to go to town on trimming the edges and stuff, just keep the main bit respectable, I suppose. Okay, just finishing up. It's about 3 o'clock, I think. You know, for the last couple of videos, all you've done is hear me moan about the weather, moan about it being too wet, too windy, too this, too that. I think it's really important that, like, days today, I'm in shorts, I've got a sweatshirt on, I'm in shorts, and the temperature's perfect. And I think it's really important that you actually take note of those days, because this is why we work outside, right, when the weather is perfect. There's nothing better, but you've got to acknowledge those days. Otherwise it gets a bit doomy and gloomy if you're constantly, the weather's too this, the weather's too that. It's never going to be perfect, but every now and again there's a day and you think it's pretty good today. So I always think, just take a moment to acknowledge that, and that it makes life a lot easier. Okay, so in the paddock now, I actually had the mower one on its highest setting, but also locked in the up position, so it really was as high as it could go, just to you know, try and get through the grass. I mean, in some areas it only took a little bit off, but where like the real thick stingers were and stuff like that, if you imagine, look, that's how high it was, and that's how high I'm cutting on the highest setting. So yeah, anything else any lower and it probably would have potentially grounded out here and there, scalped areas. That's not what I'm looking for, it's just a topping off. And again, it's not going to be cut for 2 more weeks, so that's fine. It is what it is. My favourite saying. Okay, so it's Friday. In the chaos of last week, trying to get it all done, I actually forgot to mention the battery situation. There's the old battery, and we've got a new battery on there, and touch wood, everything seemed to work quite well. It'll work again. Let's give it a go, actually. So it's sat there for a week. Let's see. Bit of choke.